Hey guys, and welcome back to I Like Watches, and welcome to Seiko Saturday number 4. Today we are featuring a very special Seiko 5. But before we get into that, quick wrist check. Seiko Quartz QR, a watch like this from the 1970s, could be had for less than the average price of a Seiko 5 these days. It's ridiculous and the quality is off the charts. This video isn't sponsored by Andy from the Vintage Japanese Watch Company. I've merely been chatting to him recently and he's lent me some watches to show you guys, to demonstrate just what incredible value for money some vintage watches can actually be. So if this ends up being your bag, baby, don't be afraid to get in touch with Andy or subscribe to his mailing list so you can be kept informed when watches like this become available. This is a 1966 Seiko 5 Sportmatic automatic watch which runs, it's working, it's in good condition, and it costs around the same as a Dress KX. And this watch will go up in value. It won't drop in value. It's going to go up in value. I'm going to run through all the facts, figures, stats and specifications. I'll be showing you some lovely pictures of this watch, and you never know, you might actually be tempted to pick up this particular watch. And if you are, you better hurry up, because I suspect after this video there's going to be a few people interested in this little beauty. It comes with its box and tags and all sorts. Amazing. This watch is currently available for £285. That's 390 US dollars, 330 euros. And Andy does accept payment via PayPal. Not all of his watches come with a warranty. It all depends on what work has been done. But every single watch has a 14-day money-back guarantee. So if you get this watch and you're not happy with it, you can return it for a full refund. This watch is an automatic. It contains the caliber 7619. It beats at 18,000 beats per hour. That's 5 ticks per second, 32-hour power reserve. It hacks. Not sure if it hand winds. I'm being very gentle with this watch and I'm not fiddling with the crown too much, but I did put it on the Timegrapher. It's running at -40 to -50 seconds a day. Great amplitude and reasonable beat error. For an automatic watch that's 55 years old, I think that's pretty impressive. The case is stainless steel, 38mm in diameter, 12.8mm thick, 18mm lug width, case length 44.7mm. This is not the original strap. This is an aftermarket leather strap. Total weight is 60 grams on this strap. The watch says waterproof, but it's 55 years old, so do not swim with this watch. It looks like the case originally had some brushing and some polished surfaces on it. The crown is a pull-push crown. It does have a quick set date function. That's the little button near the 2 o'clock. The case back is signed. It's got a picture of a dolphin on it. The crown isn't signed. The crystal, it's mineral. It's a piece of top hat crystal. Look at that. It looks awesome. The dial, silver, sort of champagne-ish, sunburst dial. Pretty clean. Doesn't appear to be any damage. 27mm in diameter. The chapter ring has a printed minute track on it, and a little bit like that RLG Odyssey I reviewed the other day, the chapter ring sits a little bit lower than the dial, which I really like. It adds a little bit of depth. The day-date window is framed, some print on the dial. There is an applied logo, applied indices, some high polished dual facet Dauphine hands, no loom on this watch, and the strap is aftermarket, so I'm not really going to go into the strap. So let me ask you this, did you honestly think vintage watches like this were available for this sort of money? Because I'll be completely honest with you, I didn't know. I have always thought about looking at vintage watches, but to be honest, that fear of buying an absolute lemon with aftermarket parts in it has always just put me off. But speaking to Andy, he's really opened my eyes to the incredible value for money pieces that actually exist. And if you speak to the right people, you can absolutely have some confidence in the watches that you buy. And something else I've learned, vintage quartz are not to be ignored. They are not at all like modern quartz watches. They're more like a mechanical watch than a quartz watch. Yes, they're driven by a battery and a quartz crystal, but all the workings inside are very mechanical. So although this is an automatic watch, Andy does seem to specialise in vintage mechanical quartz watches, which at the time were incredibly expensive. And because they're expensive, the build quality of them was off the charts. I was so impressed, I bought the company. No, that's not true. I was so impressed, I did come away with 3 watches. I've bought 3 watches, not automatics either. I've bought one electronic mechanical watch, which is a mechanical watch but powered by a battery. There's no quartz crystal in it. But I did also buy 2 vintage mechanical quartz watches. Oh my God, they are unbelievable. And when you handle them, you really can feel the quality. Anyway, let's get back to this 1966 Seiko 5 sports watch, shall we? It really is a cracking watch. And the added bonus with this one is it comes with the original clamshell box. It's got the instructions in its original little sort of hang tag pouch. Now, I asked Andy about this one. Is this a wearer's watch or is it a display cabinet piece? He said it's probably leaning a little bit more towards the display cabinet sort of category. Not a watch I think Andy would encourage you to wear daily. An occasional piece perhaps, but one that Andy does believe is a good investment. Now you might be wondering, why didn't I buy it? The truth is, this one is not in really good condition. Because I like to show lots of macro shots and sort of close-up HD footage of watches, I bought watches from Andy that were in virtually mint condition. Because I knew I wanted to show them on my channel, and watches that have been worn quite a bit, they just will be covered in micro scratches, which are just going to show up a lot in my videos. So the 3 watches that I bought are either new old stock or very lightly worn pieces from the 70s. For around the same sort of money, you can pick up this modern Seiko diver for. Now, what would you rather have? These 3 vintage watches or this modern Seiko diver? Tough one, isn't it? Like I said the other day, this is literally the tip of the iceberg. When I went to see Andy, I was like a kid in a sweet shop. I didn't know which way to turn. I've got so much footage I want to share with you guys, but don't worry, I'm not going to be abandoning AliExpress watches or modern watches. This is just another subcategory of watches that I'm interested in and I want to share with you guys. And I suspect there's quite a few people out there curious at the incredible value for money that is to be had with 70s vintage watches, and in particular, vintage quartz mechanical watches. I will be putting some extra footage on my other channel, I Like Watches Too, so if you are really curious, do head over there. I will be putting some footage up very soon, but don't worry, I will be getting back to a more modern Seiko Saturday next week. All right, guys, I am going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, look after yourselves. You'll see me again very soon.